Hi guys. Okay, so it's really hard to check the framing in this camera, so I'm kind of holding the tripod like a selfie stick because I can see myself in the lens. So anyway, this video is about studying for the LSAT, at least what I have started doing to do that. So the first thing I've done is I took the Mcgraw-Hill Diagnostic test. It has 4 sections. So if you don't know about the LSAT, it has 5 sections. 2 sections are arguments, 1 section is logic games, 1 section is reading, and then the 5th section is unscored, and it's like a repeat of one of the previous sections. Arguments are obviously worth the most because they have the most questions, like somewhere around 50. Then there's logic games and reading comprehension. I don't remember right now which section technically has less questions, but they're pretty comparable. There's also an unscored writing section. I'm not really worried about that yet. So, and if you're wondering why my gaze is all over the place, it's because, again, I don't have a viewfinder, and my mirror happens to be right behind the camera. It's distracting. Anyway, so for the arguments section, in both parts, I got 28 questions right out of 50. That's a little embarrassing. That's the part I want to work on the most. For logic games, I got 13 out of 26. And then reading comprehension, I got 18 out of 25, but I didn't actually read the sections at all. And it's that part I'm not that concerned about because I teach reading comprehension for a living. So the score is lower than it should be because I didn't actually read, but that's okay because my approach to taking this diagnostic test was just to see if I took the test with absolutely no studying, if I was completely burned out, like worst case scenario situation, like for logic games. I didn't write anything down. I did not use any scratch paper at all on any of these tests. So that is a variable that could probably change if I took the well, not the same diagnostic test, obviously, but if I took a similar one, again, making just those little tweaks, I could probably already do better. But I just wanted to get a worst case scenario score, which is 151, or a 50th percentile score. Well, kind of. It's complicated because of the fact that each section can have a different amount of questions. The raw score can translate to a different scaled score, which is what I just said, the 151. This information was actually based on what it had inside, was that the Kaplan one? Yeah, the Kaplan LSAT 2015 book that I borrowed from the library. So based on this diagnostic, again, reading comprehension, I'm not going to ignore it at all, but it's not the section I'm that worried about. As for logic games, I went ahead and did a little practice section out of the Kaplan book after, where I used paper, and I got 5 out of those 6 questions right when I actually could write things down. So I'm still going to work on that. It's just not going to be my main focus like arguments is. Arguments, I actually did read everything. Maybe I should use paper like the logic games to keep track of important details. But that's the part I'm really going to focus on. I'm going to do like logic game warm-ups, reading comprehension cool-downs, but the main focus of my study is going to be those arguments. So, like I said, 151, 50th percentile, that's okay. But since my ultimate goal is to try to get into an ABA school without a bachelor's degree, I really have to show that I am a more than acceptable candidate, that I show real promise as a lawyer. So for that, I want an elite score. And the score I'm aiming for is a 173. It's 99th percentile and the 75th percentile score at schools such as Stanford and Harvard. So, I mean, okay, I don't know how to end this. I didn't think that far through. So that's where I'm at. 151. I do this like I'm actually going to edit this. We'll see. So 151. So my study plan is to warm up with logic games, do lots of arguments, cool down with reading comprehension, and I plan on taking my first full practice test on September 10th. So we'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, I should mention when I'm taking the LSAT. December 3rd. This is a journey to December 3rd. Okay, bye.